Have you ever locked horns in a heated debate, maybe over politics, vaccines, or even something as simple as the best way to brew coffee, only to walk away frustrated? With neither side budging an inch? It's exhausting, isn't it? We assume that facts and logic should win the day, but more often they just bounce off like rain on a windshield. That's where David McRaney's book, How Minds Change, The Surprising Science of Belief, Opinion and Persuasion, comes in. McRaney, a journalist and podcaster known for You Are Not So Smart, dives into the psychology of why we cling to our beliefs and how real change happens, not through shouting matches, but through subtle human connections. He travels the world interviewing experts who change minds for a living, from door-to-door canvassers, flipping votes on marriage equality, to therapists helping people escape cults. The core problem it solves? Our brains are wired for stubbornness, thanks to biases like the backfire effect, where contrary evidence makes us dig in deeper. But here's the tease: changing a mind, including your own, requires work, patient listening, vulnerability, and a willingness to question certainty. Imagine a fortress of beliefs guarded by emotional walls. McRaney hands you the blueprint to slip inside peacefully, like a storyteller coaxing open a locked door with a gentle tale. At its heart, How Minds Change reveals that minds aren't swayed by piles of data or clever arguments alone. They shift through emotional rapport, self-doubt, and personal revelations. McRaney breaks it down step by step. First, our beliefs form not from rational analysis but from social tribes, experiences, and mental shortcuts that feel true but often aren't. Think of confirmation bias as a loyal dog fetching only the sticks that match your throw, ignoring the rest scattered around. He explains how techniques like deep canvassing work by building trust before probing gently, drawing from real campaigns where a 10-minute chat at someone's door turned lifelong opponents of transgender right into quiet supporters. Why does this matter? In a polarized world, understanding mind change frees you from endless arguments, fosters empathy in relationships, and even helps you evolve your own views, breaking free from outdated habits like procrastination born of fear or anxiety, rooted in false narratives. Picture the hedonic treadmill, that endless chase for happiness through status or stuff. McRaney shows how questioning your certainties can step you off it, leading to genuine fulfillment. He illustrates with vivid stories, like former Westboro Baptist church members who escaped hate through compassionate conversations, contrasting the chaos of rigid thinking with the calm of adaptable wisdom. Ultimately, this isn't just about persuading others. It's about personal liberation, turning conflicts into connections and doubts into growth, all backed by science that proves minds do change if approached with humanity. First way, transform your input by curating conversations that challenge your echo chamber. Focus on consuming diverse perspectives through books, podcasts, and talks that explore belief systems. You must seek out 3 specific categories. Cognitive psychology reads to understand biases, real-world persuasion stories for inspiration, and philosophical dialogues on epistemology to question knowledge itself. For cognitive psychology, dive into Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman or Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. These unpack mental shortcuts like the illusion of explanatory depth, where we overestimate our understanding, much like assuming you know how a bicycle works until you try drawing it. In Persuasion stories, try Persuasion by Robert Cialdini or McRaney's own You Are Not So Smart podcast episodes. They show how subtle cues like shared vulnerability open minds, as in the example of canvassers sharing personal losses to build rapport on equality issues. For epistemology, explore On Being Certain by Robert Burton or Socratic dialogues in Plato's works. These teach that true wisdom starts with admitting ignorance, transforming rigid views into flexible ones. Your challenge: trade 1 hour of social media scrolling for listening to a podcast from an opposing viewpoint each week. Notice how it softens your certainties. To extract and apply, use a simple note-taking system. After each input, jot the belief it challenges, paraphrase the counterpoint in your words, and note one common ground it shares with your view. Walk through it like this. Say you're reading about vaccine hesitancy. Note, belief, vaccines are rushed and risky. Paraphrase, evidence shows rigorous testing saves lives, like eradicating smallpox. And common ground, we both want health safety for families. This turns passive consumption into active, mind-shifting, sparking changes like approaching a skeptical friend with empathy instead of facts. Second way, hone your internal processing by regularly interrogating your confidence in beliefs. Much like a detective cross-examining a suspect to uncover hidden truths. You must practice this through structured self-reflection. Starting with the confidence score technique McRaney describes. Consider the story of Giordano Bruno, the 16th century philosopher burned at the stake for heretical ideas like an infinite universe. Bruno clung to his cosmic visions amid religious dogma. But imagine if his inquisitors, or he himself, had paused to rate their certainty. On a scale of 1 to 100, how sure are you the Earth is the center? Bruno's tale builds tension as he debates scholars, facing exile and trials. Yet his unwavering doubt in orthodoxy resolved in profound insights that influenced Galileo. It illustrates how probing certainty reveals cracks in overconfidence, turning potential tragedy into intellectual legacy. To apply, use this step-by-step guide. First, pick a belief like, my career path is the only right one. Rate your confidence, say 85 out of 100. Second, explain how you arrived there, perhaps from parental advice or early successes, but stumble on gaps like ignored alternatives. Third, ask why it's not higher. What accounts for those missing 15 points? Maybe market changes or untested passions. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living, reinforcing that this uncovers biases. What if you're certain about a political stance? This process might reveal dismissed experiences, like a positive interaction with the other side, fostering humility and openness that quiets inner anxiety. Third way, seek external challenges by engaging in vulnerable dialogues that evoke personal stories. Embrace discomfort to grow, like a blacksmith forging steel through fire. You must cultivate this by initiating conversations with those who disagree, using rapport building to unlock change. Take a modern anecdote involving tech entrepreneur Elon Musk and his public debates on AI risks. In a 2023 X thread, Musk sparred with critics dismissing his warnings as hype. AI could end humanity, he tweeted, met with replies like, "You're just fear-mongering for attention." Tension mounted as users piled on. But Musk pivoted. Tell me your story. Have you seen AI displace jobs firsthand? One responder shared losing their coding gig to automation, admitting, yeah, it hit home, but I adapted. Musk echoed back, so you get the uncertainty, why not prepare? This drama highlights a mindset shift. View opposition as opportunity, not threat. A counterintuitive tip? Start by admitting your own doubts first. It disarms defenses, as McRaney's canvassers did when sharing personal evolutions on rights issues. Before, you might avoid debates, stewing in isolation. After, ripples spread, deeper relationships, reduced polarization, even policy shifts in your circle, like convincing a relative to reconsider a conspiracy through their own overlooked experiences. Life's journey toward open-mindedness is like navigating a winding river, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, but always moving forward if you adjust your sails to the winds of new insights. You'll notice progress in quieter arguments, deeper connections, and a lighter load from shed certainties, markers of a mind that's truly free. As McRaney wisely notes, change isn't about winning, it's about understanding. That was the core message I gathered from How Minds Change by David McRaney.